Show, the show where you get inspired, educated, and of course, motivated by my content and of course, with my dear guests who regularly come to my show. Today, you've got me directly in your living room, or maybe in your office, or maybe in your bedroom. I don't know where you are, but do let me know where are you today. I'm talking to you today from Brussels, and it is quite sunny here. So let me know how it is where you are. Today, as you can see, the topic is why are you not where you wanted to be? And the reason why I wanted to go live with today's topic is because I'm asked this question again, again, and again. Olga, why I'm still not there? When clients come and they work with me, they say this magical phrase all over again and again. Olga, I've tried it all, and for some reason, I still can't get where I want to be. The answer is very simple. You are not there where you want to be because you don't allow yourself to get there. Let me repeat it again. You are not where you wanted to be because you are not allowing yourself to get there. I'll give you an example. Just like with pregnancy, you cannot be semi pregnant. You either are pregnant or you're not pregnant. And for you to get pregnant, you and your body should receive the sperm in order to get pregnant, right? I know it's more relatable to women, but you guys, you also understand me, right? So, whenever a woman is pregnant, you know she received and therefore now she's pregnant. Can a woman be semi pregnant? No. She's either pregnant or not pregnant. Okay? So this is what we need to remember. In order for you to get where you want to be, you got to be open to receiving opportunities, situations, events, help, connections, which will get you to where you want to be. But here's a challenge. How do you do that? And I know you're not doing that because you're listening to this video. Okay? Because you are still wondering how can I get there? So how do we actually get there? First of all, by discovering what stopped you so far. Okay? Of course, right now, I won't be able to tell to all 7 billion people in the world what exactly stopped them because I got to really speak to you. But what I noticed across all my clients, across different countries, across different cultures, and I kid you not, it's the pattern which people have in general. What stops them is themselves. Okay, people can say lack of opportunities, people can say lack of money, people can say lack of connections, people can say lack of something else, but the truth is it is yourself. Okay, and how do you do it? Not the way you of course want it. And it's not like you wish to stop yourself, of course not. And I know you don't because I've been in your shoes as well, just like many of my clients been in your shoes too. You don't want to stop yourself. You want to get where you want to be, whether it is fulfilling relationships, maybe it is successful and fulfilling job, or maybe a business, or maybe it is just amazing body, you being fit and healthy. I don't know what it is, but I know that as much as you really, really want it and you push yourself really, really a lot and you work really, really hard, I know what happens at the same time. You hold yourself back. So as you push, you hold yourself back. How? Just like when you drive a car on a handbrake. What happens? You have perfect car, you have perfect fuel in the car, you have maybe perfect weather conditions, you have perfect key which you put in the car, you started the engine, and guess what? You push the pedal, you push it all the way down, your car makes a noise, so it works really, really hard, and yet the handbrake is still on. So it is that handbrake which is in your mindset that is holding you back. Okay? And those handbrakes is important to discover, is important to release now. Why now? Well, because 5 years later, you will think to yourself, I should have done it 5 years ago. Right? If you will do it now, in 5 years, you will have a lot better life. You'll be at the next level. You'll be in fulfilling relationships. You'll be having whatever money you want. You'll be doing whatever you want, right? But if you don't do it now, it will get only worse, okay? Because for as long as you try to drive on the handbrake, doesn't matter how hard you push the pedal down to the floor, um, you will just make lots of noise, right? The same happens in life. You work really, really hard and you don't get anywhere. So, how can you actually start getting somewhere? Well, first of all, let's observe your patterns. Let's observe your behavior. What do you do to stop yourself? And I know it can be very tricky because if you would be able to notice and observe your patterns so far, you would do it. But guess what? I know you were never shown how to do it. And that's why I'm here, just about to show you. So what you do, you when you notice you're just about to do something, but you procrastinate, you ask yourself, okay, what am I doing right now? It could be maybe you starting to tidy up the house all of a sudden because yeah, tidying the house is really important versus making a phone call, right? Or maybe you are making a phone call to your friend, not to the bank, maybe not to the potential investor, maybe not to potential client, but you're calling friends, all of them, right? So you are calling, but not to the right person. Or maybe you are on a dating app and instead of actually finally inviting somebody on a date, you keep swiping left and right? So you sort of do actions, but you don't really complete the action. Okay. So start noticing what are you doing when you're supposed to do something else. Because that is called procrastination. That is called you're running away from that important task, that important step, which will liberate you, which will take you to the next level, which will help you to get somewhere else. Okay? So, what you got to do from today is just to start observing yourself. What do you do when you're supposed to do towards where you want to get? Okay. In other words, if you want to have a healthy, fit body and you know you have to go to the gym, what do you do instead? Or you know you have to drop on the floor and exercise right in your living room, what do you do? What do you do instead? Do you start eating junk food? Do you start lying on a couch, watching telly? What do you do instead? Okay, that's just a little example for you to understand why, like, what exactly you should do and why, because those actions will show what exactly stops you. Okay, and that is called distraction. It's simply distraction. You allow yourself to lose the focus, you allow yourself to get distracted by everything else are parts of what you got to do. Okay, so that's the first step. You just obviously observe yourself, you see what you do instead of what you should be doing. Okay, second step here, and of course, when I work with my clients, it's a lot easier because I ask them questions, and when it is a dialogue, it's a lot easier. When you're by yourself, it's always a lot more challenging. We all know it. Okay, so it might sound like a really, really challenging task, but trust me, it's not, especially when you work with a coach. So the second step for you is to actually asking yourself questions. Asking yourself questions. And these questions can be, again, when I work with a client, it's always individual, it's always personalized. So I feel the client and I already know the backstory of the client. So I will always amend my question based on the client, right? But in overall, you can ask these sorts of questions. What am I running away from? What am I afraid of? Once I will get there, what I want to get, what's next? Right? And what usually happens, again, when you do it by yourself, you might tell yourself great excuses. You might tell yourself great stories as you have been doing so far. And you might not hear what you're supposed to hear. But when I work with my clients, they will say something, right? And that will be the answer. And answers could be something like, for example, one of my clients, he said, well, when I will progress with my business and I will do everything what I plan to do, then I'll have nothing to do and I'll have to relax. I was like, interesting. As far as I know, you don't really relax. And he said, you're right. So you see, subconsciously, he was avoiding. He didn't even know about that, but he was avoiding to get to the stage when he will do Nothing. And what he means by nothing, obviously less. There's no business when you have to do nothing, right? You still do some stuff. But subconsciously, that was his story. And that story is not even true. Like, none of those limitations which we have are true, right? But when you are subconsciously afraid of something, you will do everything not to get there. Or, for example, one of my other clients, when I asked him, what exactly are you afraid of? What will happen when you will get into that relationship? What will happen when you will get married? He said, oh, I'll lose my freedom. And guess what? That story had my other clients. That also story also was one of my stories. This is a common story. Is it true that you're gonna lose your freedom when you will get married? No. But you see, him and other clients and myself, we had this story that when you will get married, you'll lose your freedom. So guess what everybody is doing? Everything not to get into the relationships, right? Because we don't want to lose the freedom. Okay, so that's what's really important to ask yourself these questions. And again, I know it can be challenging when you do it by yourself. I understand. But I still want to give you these questions so at least you are challenging yourself. When you start challenging yourself and then you come work with me, it will be so much easier because your brain is already ready. Is already prepared for deeper dive. Okay. So please do your best to challenge yourself with these questions. What am I running away? When I will get there, when I will get this position, when I will get to these earnings, when I will be married, when I will have this body, what's then? Okay. And your subconscious in normal circumstances will give you the reaction. It could be a feeling, it could be a word, it could be a sentence, it could be something, right? And what's really important is to pay attention, right? To pay attention what exactly comes out because that could be an answer. Okay. I can see so many hellos actually here. So good to see you guys and girls. Do say hello to me. Everybody, where you based? I can see Christopher says Feng Shui on point, Olga. Well, Feng Shui is a great science, and people call it science, some people call it just rituals, whatever you call it. You know what, Feng Shui is great, and it's really important to use it. And you know what, we all are energy. So yes, using feng shui in our lives definitely will help, absolutely. But you know what happens is like people say, "Oh, I'll go and do chakra cleaning, and I'll get better, and then everything will be fine in my life." And I guess what happens? A month later, chakras are blocked again. Well, because you can clean your chakras, but if you haven't learned what exactly blocks them, keep blocking them. The same with you can have all the right things in the right places around the house, around your business premises, on your desk. But if your thought pattern, if your limitations, if your stories are not on point to where you want to get, guess what? It will be perfect setup with most imperfect pattern of where you want to get. Okay, so yes, I believe in feng shui, Christopher, but I also believe in the power of our mindset. That's why I do what I do, and the reason why I do what I do because I transform myself with the power of my own mindset. Okay, so so far what I have shared with you is that let me just recap a little bit that you cannot be semi-pregnant, right? You cannot be a little bit pregnant. You either are pregnant, meaning you have what you wanted, or you're not. And if you're not pregnant, that means you just simply decided not to, or there are reasons, or your body is rejecting the pregnancy, right? So there's something happening that it's not concluding in pregnancy, right? The same with everything in life. You cannot be semi there, right? It doesn't happen being semi there. You either are there, having what you want, or you're not. And if you're not, it means you're not open to receive. Okay. And I'll tell you a bit more. This is like step 3. Okay. So, first step is realizing that there is something that stops you and it is your own limitations. Okay, so what you do, you start observing your actions, right? Your actions, what do you do, right? That's the step 1. You observe what do you do instead of what you should do. Okay, observe your procrastinational actions. And I can tell you, like, just to give you a couple of examples, when I procrastinate, I start all of a sudden tidy up the house, or I start really a lot to do with my self care. I can apply body lotion all over my body, right? I will go for a walk, I will go to meditate, I will do whatever, and I will catch myself thinking, huh, wasn't I supposed to do this? But instead, I do all these amazing things because this is my way of running away. Okay? Nobody's perfect, remember that. No one is perfect. Every single person on earth, even the most successful people, will catch themselves procrastinating sometimes. But if you want to get really successful, you got to be able to recognize when you do procrastinate, catch yourself and change the behavior. Okay, so pay attention. What do you do as procrastination? It could be beautiful actions, but guess what, it still can be procrastination. Okay, second step is listen to what happens in your vocabulary. Okay, verbal thoughts, texting, emailing, whatever you use, right? Whenever you think, if I will get there, what will happen next? Okay, listen to the block to come out. It could be anything. As I already discussed, not going to bring more examples because I already brought some examples. You can watch a replay if you just join me now. Okay, and the third thing is, some people call it visualization. Some people call it embodying, right? Some people call it differently, which is fine. But it is matching your body and your mind to where you want to be. Okay. Some people will call it even actually fake it until you make it, which I don't agree with because it's not faking. It's literally adjusting you to where you want to be. Why is it important? Because let's put it this way, for example, if you want to be person who is, let's say, really successful, living in a wonderful house, driving a beautiful car, and wearing really amazing outfits, but at the same time, you're not really increasing your standards, you choose second best, and you're not really, let's say, working on your style, or you're not really, for example, keeping your house tidy, stuff like that, then how are you going to end up with some bigger stuff, bigger things in the life if you don't appreciate and don't look after smaller things, right? So that means, let's go this way. If you want to have a lifestyle of a millionaire, then you have to think like a millionaire. If you want to be in relationships, then you have to act and behave and think like you are in relationships, right? If you want to have a healthy body, then you have to think as a healthy person. What does that mean? Okay, ask yourself, okay, if I would have a healthy and fit body now, what would I choose to have for lunch? And make that choice, right? If I would have fit and healthy body now, what would I choose to wear? Will you wear proud some other outfits, or will you wear some baggy, dirty, and filthy? So if I'm healthy and if I have already healthy and fit body, what would I do now when it comes in terms of your social life, how you would go out, what type of friends will you have? Will you still go to fast food places, or will you go to the fancy restaurants? Okay, some people might say, well, Olga can't afford fancy. In that case, don't go to fast. You can always make that choice. Okay, and I don't care what you can't afford. You can afford what is your priority. That's the truth. Okay, I know it sounds whole, probably call me names right now. Fine. Many of you will get triggered. Fine. But you have to remember, you afford what you choose to afford. Okay? If one day for you will be a priority to find money for an operation, you will find it. Okay? The same with you investing in yourself. The same with you going best, not the second best. The stories I can't afford. You can't afford because you choose not to afford sunshine, okay? And I'm saying this in such harsh way because at some point I had to hear it too. It hurts. I know it hurts, but guess what? That is your wake-up call. Okay? And I know there'll be lots of haters. It's fine. I'm not here to be likable by everyone. I'm here to tell you the truth. You afford what you choose to afford. But I know there's one thing which you can't afford. You can't afford to waste more time. You definitely cannot afford that, right? Why? It's running out. It is running out. Sunshine, you don't have unlimited days. Life is not permanent, it is temporary. And you cannot afford to waste your time. Everything else you can afford. You just have to choose to go after that. Okay? So, going back to embodying, going back to living that person's lifestyle, what does it mean? That means you are adapting yourself to where you want to be. Because what happens again, 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 people get somewhere because they're working really hard, they've done the work on their mindset, they've reached the point where they wanted to be, and guess what? They still behave in the way how they behaved before. And what happens? They go back. Okay? You don't want to go back. Once you go up, you want to go higher and higher and higher so you can help more other people, you can help yourself, you can bring more light to the world. You don't want to go back. That's why it's important for you to practice how you would be, what you would be, who you would be once you are there in your now, today. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I really, really want? Like right this moment, as I'm asking this question, don't think about 10 things, okay? You can't focus on 10 things. It's like driving 10 cars. You can't. You can only drive one car, okay? Work at one area at a time. So if you think to yourself, what is it one thing I want to have in my life right now? By the way, type it in the chat. That helps. Why? Because this is how you show commitment to the universe. Okay, so type in the chat, what is the one thing I really want to have right now in my life? Okay, it could be your healthy body, it could be your husband or wife, it could be a child, it could be a business, it could be a great career, whatever it is. Right? Ask yourself, am I matching the person who has that? Look at yourself, scan your lifestyle, scan your inner circle, scan your actions, scan your behaviors, and ask yourself, am I matching what I want to have in my life? And if you're not, it's time to work on it. I'll give you my personal example. Many years ago, many months ago, I decided to become a public speaker. Why? Because I was inspired by so many other speakers who went through the hardships in their lives and now they're standing on big stages, sharing their stories and changing people's lives. And back then, fiance at the time told me that I'll never be a speaker. He said, "Who do you think you are? You have nothing to share. You have nothing new to say. You are nobody, Olga. You came from a small village in Latvia. Who are you to be a speaker?" When I heard that, that was hurtful. But guess what? That was him mirroring how I felt about myself. I really wanted to be a speaker. Really, really wanted. But what I was doing about that? Nothing. Like nothing. I wanted, just like many of you wanted right now, but I was doing nothing. Okay? So what happened? I asked myself, well, if he says this to you, this is a mirror of what you feel and how you feel about yourself. Long story short, right now I'm not only a speaker, I'm also a regional president of Professional Speaking Association within the UK. How cool is that, right? What happened there? Well, first of all, I had to dump my ex-fiance. Okay, I knew with a person like that, there's no way I can achieve anything. Even though he was mirroring, there were many other issues which we had, and I just knew this relationship not gonna work out. Okay, so that was goodbye, see you forever. Okay, which is good because now I'm happily married to an absolutely amazing, wonderful, and extremely supportive man. Okay, so here we go, choices we make. Right? So, what was important to do for me back then? Not only to dump my ex fiance, which was important, I agree. But what's also important to do is to match me. That meant, okay, am I sounding like a speaker? Am I looking like a speaker? Am I behaving like a speaker? Do I go to places where speakers are? Do I have friends who are speakers in my environment, right? So, what I had to do, I had to match everything about me, within me, to be that person. That meant when I was waking up, I was feeling like a speaker because I was dressing up, I was walking like I am one, I was going to my office, I'm working with my clients. Like I was feeling myself being a speaker 24/7. Before I was going to bed, I was visualizing like tomorrow I'm gonna speak on a really big stage. So I was doing this day in, day out. And then magic happens. And of course, not like magic happens, somebody just drops opportunity in front of me. No, because when you embody that brand new yourself in the new reality, guess what happens? Your ears opened up, your eyes opened up, and now you see other opportunities. And now you almost like you looked at that sign, you looked at that website, you looked at that meeting so many times, you never clicked it was for you, and now you look at that event with total different eyes and you think, wow, how did I not click on that before? For example, I'll give you another example. I was hosting events for a long time. That's something what I love doing. I love hosting. I'm a natural host. You come to my house, I'm gonna feed you. I'm a feeder, right? You're gonna be here around, I'm gonna entertain you. We're gonna do some games, we're gonna do some talks. You're gonna have fun, even if you just come to my house. When I host events, I bring the energy, I connect, I gel the event. It's something what I truly, truly enjoy. Guess what? I'm booked often to speak. I'm booked often to host. I'm booked even next year now to host, right? Which is fabulous. Hopefully there'll be no COVID-19 restrictions again, right? But anyways, the bottom story is I do it all the time. And then the other day, after hosting our regional event at the Professional Speaking Association, many people reached out to me again saying, Olga, we'll love your facilitation. We'll love how you run your meetings. I come back because of the way how you host them. And that makes me feel really good. And I said to my husband, I so enjoy doing this hosting. Like, it just really speaks to my heart. And the only thing I feel the sadness about that, it's only half a day. I wish that would last for 3 days, right? He laughed and he said, why don't you do more of that? And I said, oh, yeah, but I do. He says, no, no, why don't you do more of that? And I realized that even though that was always in front of me here, I was doing that, but I was never even mentioning that. You know what I mean? So the same can happen to you once you will claim what you want, once you will say out loud what you want, once you will write down on a piece of paper what you want in your life, somebody will say something to you and you will hear it finally. You will read something and you will see it finally, okay? But what's important is for you to start being in that experience of you being there already. Okay, so these are 3 steps which actually can help you to get to where you want to be. But remember, the only reason why you are not where you wanted to be is because of you not allowing yourself to get there, because you stay closed. How do we open up? I will share with you one bonus tip before I go. How do we open up? We open up with the power of practice. You just practice to receive. You really practice to receive, whether it is a help, maybe it is a compliment, maybe it's just a nice gesture from somebody, but you practice to receive. Why? Because the more you receive, the more open you are. Simple is that. Imagine a funnel. Imagine the funnel. So you are there right at the bottom of the funnel, you are here. And everything that comes through the funnel comes to you if funnel is open. But if funnel is blocked with whatever limitations, with whatever stories, with whatever negativity, whatever in your life is, you're not going to receive it. So the more you practice to receive a compliment, oh, thank you very much. Help, yeah, I would love some help. Asking for help, right? You'll be more and more opening up. Okay? So it's really important to start practicing receiving, right? Including receiving you being stretched by somebody else, receiving help from somebody else, receiving information, receiving you being willing to be challenged, right? That means you opening up to that new person whom you want to be one day. Okay? Well, I hope that was helpful. I can see some nice comments here on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. I will check other platforms in a minute. I can see what Ramesh says. It's very, very nice quote, actually. Health is wealth. Hence, I would want a healthy mind and body. And you know what, Ramesh, it's very, very powerful you say that, because your body is impacted by your mind. And you impact your mind by your body. They always go hand in hand. You can't separate them. The healthier you are in your mind, the healthier choices you'll make for your body. Okay, it always goes together. So that's beautiful. And when you make healthy choices, when you are healthy in your mind, in your body, you'll be a lot healthier in your relationships. You'll be a lot healthier at your workplace. You'll be a lot healthier towards the environment. You'll be more sustainable, and you will look after everything around you and within you. Okay, so I hope that helps you to understand why you're not where you want to be, simply because you are blocked. You have to release your handbrake. You have to release what stopped you so far. That could be as simple as limitation, which is not even yours. There could be your parents' story. There could be your grandparents' story. I was full of them. Full of them. Like many other of my clients, they're full of stories which are not even theirs. That's why they come to me to discover what is the handbrake. And guess what? We release one handbrake after another. Oh, by the way, yes, it's never just one. Just to let you know. Never just one, okay? There'll be always some of them. But what you can do is to make a choice that you will step up for yourself, that you will commit to yourself now like never before. Because let's put it this way, for a second, just imagine. Just imagine your life carries on the same way as it is now, and nothing changes in your life. How happy will you be in the next 5 years? Or maybe 2 years? Let's take 7. Nothing changes. You don't make even a single change. Nothing changes in your life for the next 2, 5, 7, 10 years. How do you feel? What about 20 years? You know, when my client who was 73 came to work with me, and we released so many of his handbrakes, so many of his limitations, so many of his stories, and he met love of his life, and they got married. If he can do it, you can do it too. But do you really want to wait until you're 73? If you do it now, you'll have so many more years to enjoy and have fun. Thank you, Naida. I can see your comment. Thanks a lot. It came on time for me. I'm really happy that it came timely. You know, there's perfect timing for everything. And the reason why you listen to this video today is because it's meant to be. It's meant to be that this is your call to action, to commit to yourself, to invest in yourself, to really want to make some changes. I can see Ramesh says, very true, difficult to practice that. You see, Ramesh, if you'll be my client right now, I will ask this question. Is it difficult? Is it really difficult? Or is it your opinion that it is difficult? Right? And that's how powerful that one-to-one coaching is, because I listen to every single sentence you say, and I hear every single word within every single sentence, because this is where our limitations are. If you, Ramesh, believe it's difficult, it will be difficult. It's up to you to believe it is easy. It's up to you to see that as easy. Okay? And I can see Ramesh says change is definitely permanent. Yes, it is permanent if you continue changing. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, all. It was so wonderful to have you here listening to, and so wonderful to see your participation. What you say, Ramesh, is powerful. It is certainly the mindset which has to change. Yes. Because everything else around you will just shift as a result of mindset. When people come to work with me, they don't tell me they want to work on their mindset. They tell me, I want to step away from my suicidal thoughts. I want to beat my, I want to overcome my fears. They say so many things. I want to improve my relationship. I want to overcome my divorce. I want to deal with my confidence, whatever. But guess what? None of them said, I want to work on my mindset, because we don't study that at school. And guess what happens? Of course, we'll work on their mindset. We'll work on what they want to work, but we'll also work on their mindset. And as a result, the magic happens. Not only their confidence, what they came after, increases, not only their depressions is gone, not only they don't have suicidal thoughts anymore, they're gone. they lighten up. They find their passion, they find their purpose, they declutter their inner circle, they don't have any more people who are full of negativity, they have fulfilling relationships, they do more self-care and self-love. As a result, many of them lose weight. I'm not a weight specialist, I never will be because I'm not trained in that, right? But as a result of your self-love and self-care, they lose the weight, they go to the gym, their life transforms. Why? Because we transform their mindset. That is how powerful it is. Okay, so thank you so much, Ramesh. You're very welcome for bringing out the limiting belief in you. Well, you see, it takes two to bounce off each other. It was your choice to type it in the chat, and that's how powerful it is, the participation in these shows, right? And it was up to me to call you out on that. But that's what I do with my clients, right? So if I do it with my clients, why would I not do it with you? Okay, I walk my talk and I'm proud of serving and helping people day in and day out. Okay, so if you enjoyed this, if you got some value from this video, do me a favor. Do something about that. Type in the chat, what are you committing from today? What are you going to do about your life to get where you finally want to be? And as I was saying earlier on in the video, I know it is quite challenging to do it by yourself. Have you noticed? I'm not saying difficult, I'm saying challenging because you can't hear yourself. You can't spot your own limitations. It's almost like if I'll be a heart surgeon, would I be ever able to do heart operation on myself? No. That's why I also have a coach. Oprah Winfrey, you all know her. She has 4 coaches, right? So for you to really excel in life, you need somebody to work with. Thankfully, there's so many people around. You can always find somebody who you click with whom you feel most comfortable, who you feel will be strong enough for you to take you to the next level. Okay, so make sure you commit to something as a result of this video. Make sure you use something. Make sure you do something for yourself. Okay, whether it is noticing your procrastinational actions and behaviors, whether it is noticing what comes up as a limitation when you imagine yourself being there where you want to be, having that what you want to have, or maybe it is when you embody that brand new person of yours. Maybe when you are living the experience of that person, what happens then, right? So do one of the 3 steps and make sure you also use the bonus step, which is practicing receiving. So all I want from you today, right now, is just to say thank you in the chat because that'll be your first step how to practice receiving. Thank you, Olga, for this video. I received it well. Okay, that is your first practice. That is your first step to receive well. Whatever it is for the rest of the day, keep saying thank you. I received it well. Thank you. I received it well. Thank you. I received it well. Okay, practice receiving. Reach out to me if you need some help. When you feel okay, I'm ready to level up. I'm hungry. I am desperate. I'm ambitious. I want to thrive. Reach out to me. I'll type the link to my calendar, which I know is quite busy. So you better hurry up because not many spots, as you can see in the calendar, will be there available. But those people who are really committed, they will do it. And those who are not, guess what? Good luck. Let's see where your life will take you. Surely, 5 years later, you will think to yourself, should have taken the action back then, right? So I'll see you on the other side of Zoom where we're going to have our quick coffee chat about you and how we can take you to the next level. Don't forget, next week there's another show where Diana Grant will be joining me in discussion on self-love and why self-love is so important. So tune in at 1 p.m. UK time on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel because there's so much more beautiful content which you can get inspired by and motivated by. So thank you for being here with me today. I'll see you next week.